teachers. At some point, we had said that we were going to look at where we are on some of the other sort of what I would categorize as catastrophically underfunded categories, like supplies, like facilities, like administration and professional development. I'd appreciate if we could have that sort of somewhere in this runway into budget, because as is acutely made clear in the presentation, it isn't as if we have a lot of wiggle room, and part of what our commitment was that we were going to do something about that. The only other two things I would add here is I do think that we want to add a third thing in terms of our budget priorities, and we kind of already have, which is the MSBA. And I'm seeing statewide some pressures in kind of other directions in terms of where we're directing funding. And I have yet to see it really kind of gather steam that there's $21 million in inflation that we've got to pay for Doherty out of local revenue sources. There's, we've got a burn coat that needs replacing. We've got windows that we need at Worcester East Middle School, and the list goes on and on. We got to get the accelerated repair projects back. We got to get the MSBA capped. And we need, honestly, we need more funding there. And we also need the state to take care of inflation. I would just float, I'm not going to make a motion, but we might consider whether or not we want to have a legislative meeting. I know that very often when we've had those, they've kind of fallen way too late in the legislative session, and they haven't necessarily done a lot of good. So I would offer that as a caution, but I think that's important. And then the other thing I wanted to say was this. We are the only district that I'm aware of where we actually allocate our budget frequently after the city has already approved it. Generally, the sequence is that the school district approves the budget and then sends it to their allocation authority. And I'm not going to sort of upset the apple cart this year. We have things in train. But I would like us to consider what that kind of ends up meaning in terms of kind of the message we're sending. And I put it out this year in light of this. When the school district budget is before the city council, it is really important that the city council understand that it's the bottom line, and that's it. They don't allocate the school district budget. The Worcester School Committee allocates the school district budget. We've had a couple of different ways in which the presentation has gone forward in previous years, and I am going to offer, and I do this in my capacity as Chair of Finance and Operations, that I do not think that the superintendent and the deputy superintendent should be alone in presenting the budget before the city council, because it isn't their budget and they're not subject to questioning by the city council. I think that needs to be something that we partner with them in doing. Thank you, Mr. Chair.